everybody, it's Friday and welcome to the JSE Investment Challenge. It's Friday. My name is Subimboya Arnold and I'm so glad that you tuned in with us today to learn about more of your investing adventure. With me in studio is Mr. Ralph Spears, and he is the JSE technical expert. Hi, Ralph.
How you doing, Klubi? It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm also excited. It's Friday. Looking forward to our discussion today.
We had a great day yesterday. We're going to have an even better show today. Please tell everyone that's listening what the JSE Investment Challenge is all about.
Great. So what we've got is a game for anyone that is at university or college that would like to learn about financial literacy, understand the stock market.
Yes.
And really what they get given is R1 million virtual money, where they basically go and buy and sell listed companies on the JSE, the likes of Pick n Pay, Sasol, Vodacom, you name those different companies, and they go and buy those shares, and the team with the highest return from that R1 million then is able to win some prizes.
We had such a fantastic show yesterday with the schools JSE challenge, and we were so motivated and inspired by just the knowledge and the know-how of our young learners really navigating their way through the investments. Today, we're going to play it a little bit differently. Yes, it is the University Challenge, and we would ordinarily have university winners, but I've got something very special up my sleeve for you today, and I'll reveal that to all of you a little bit later. But for me, what I love most is that the prize for the University Challenge of the JSE Investment Challenge is an international travel to an international stock exchange. Am I right, Ralph?
It's certainly, you are right indeed.
Wow.
And, last year they went to the New York Stock Exchange. So there's some amazing opportunities. I think it was 2 years ago that they went to the London Stock Exchange.
Wow.
And so there's some great places that you go and visit. And obviously with this international trip, you get to see the other exchanges and understand how they operate. And I think it's a wonderful opportunity for those that are able to reach the heights of #1 spot.
Yo, I am literally falling off my chair. Like the guest, my secret guest saw me kind of slip off my chair with that wonderful, wonderful prize. But let's talk about the annual first prize of 25,000 Rand, which is inclusive of the trip overseas. Then we've got a second prize of 20,000 Rand for the annual game, and a third prize of 15,000 Rand for the annual game. Am I correct, Ralph?
That's 100% correct.
Okay, so could you clarify the registration process and if people would still be able to register?
Yeah, so the game officially is going to be finishing now in September, but you are still welcome to go and register. You've got about 2 or 3 weeks that you can play. So for those that are listening either on the recording or live, you're welcome to go and still register and participate. You can still win a monthly competition prize, which we've got one more month's announcement, which will happen in about 2 weeks' time.
Yep.
So, that is an opportunity for you. But otherwise, I think it's a great opportunity for those that are catching us late, still to go and just, learn about the platform, learn about shares. And at the end of the day, it'll prep you nicely for come next year. You're still registered at any college or university, you can go and participate. And for those that are listening and want to go do it, you go to our website, university.jse.co.za, click on register, find your university or college, and then enter your team members' details in, and you can push submit, and immediately you can start trading. And so it's a very simple process.
Exciting times. Just a friendly reminder that we've got a beautiful JSE hamper up for grabs, and that person will be randomly selected at the end of the show. So please do keep yourself engaged because a JSE hamper is up for grabs. Now, drum roll please, because our university winners, our monthly winners for the university competition of the JSE Investment Challenge, Manan Investments, could not be with us today. I've got an even better surprise for all of you. In studio with me today are the two hosts of Invest Your Chest, Ulsihle no Linda. Say what up, guys.
Say, what's up, guys? Oi, oi.
Okay, we're going to be chatting to them later. I'm so excited. They really have some great content on the radio show called invest with your chest. Let's take a break and we'll come back with Usihle no Lindo. We're back, and you're watching the JSE Investment Challenge with me, Ralph Spears, with me, Hlubi Moya, and with Ralph Spears. I'm so excited because in studio with me today is Sihle and Lindo from Invest with Your Chest radio show. Unfortunately, Manon University or Manon Investments from Stellenbosch University, the winners of our University Challenge this month, could not grace us with their presence, but the show must go on, and we've always got those surprises just for you. So without further ado, Lindo and Sihle,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you so much for being here with me. So your show is called Invest with Your Chest.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Tell us more about that.
So how Invest with Your Chest came about, we saw a serious need in the South African population, so for people to get into playing with the investment markets, right? The traditional asset class. People were not participating in that, and we found out more often than not it was because of the lack of the know-how, right?
Yes.
So we said, if you want to invest, you have to do it confidently, knowing how. So you have to do it with your chest, man. Come on. Yeah.
Chest out.
Yes, ma'am.
Because we wanted to stimulate our conversations around investment. Because I've noticed, especially from where I grew up, right? When you talk of the JSE, people like they just immediately be scared. You think of someone with those suits and tie. Like, man, come on. That's what the JSE is about. If lads like Sihle and myself can be invested in the JSE, then what about you? Man?
Yes, sir.
We want to invest. The more we talk about it and make people feel comfortable about investing, then it's going to be a really great thing. So that was the reason then for Invest with Your Chest. That's to get people talking. Get people talking.
Ralph, isn't that exactly what you want to hear? I mean, the reason for creating Invest with Your Chest is that it's more accessible to the ordinary South African.
You know, that's exactly it. And it was a pleasure to have Mpumalelo High School yesterday and
Yes.
just showing you that, you know, we go across borders, across as in provinces and different areas within the country to be able to, you know, reach out to those that haven't really got to understand investing from a young age. And so therefore, you know, the teachers are out there supporting the schools and even the universities. We go to a lot of universities across the country and even colleges and go speak to them and try and get them involved and get them participating. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what field of study you're in, because a lot of people also talk about this, that is this only for finance students? Is this, you know, this is for everyone. Anyone that's got any desire to learn more about investing can participate. And so that radio show is fantastic to have to reach out to the communities that are out there. And it's so important to try and help us educate those different communities.
Wonderful. Now, Invest with Your Chest. You are busy studying.
Yes, ma'am.
What are you
Yes,
studying
ma'am.
and where?
I'm currently doing my third year in BCom accounting at the University of UJ. Man.
BCom
Yeah,
accounting.
in UJ.
Okay, fantastic. And
Yes,
apparently
ma'am.
you're going to cum laude at some point.
I have to, man. I have to.
Okay, and Ralph, what do you think of just young people really wanting to learn from the fact that it is a virtual game, but after the fact, they'll be having the tools to be wealth creators of their own future?
Well, that's exactly it. You know, at the end of the day, this show is really about building you up, giving you the foundation. And as you go along later in life, when you do have a bit of extra income, you will obviously have learned so much now during high school and university stages that you'll be able to then go and hopefully make a lot better decisions with your finance. And so, yes, you know, at the moment, everything is virtual. And at the end of the day, it's giving you that platform for later on.
What do you find, before I go back to Invest with Your Chest, are the most frequently asked questions by young people about the stock exchange and specifically the Johannesburg Stock Exchange?
I think the number one question that we probably get asked is, how much can I invest with, and can I invest directly? I think in fact, those two are
Really?
the most. Yeah. So I mean, it's about entry, and again, the entry for anyone to be able to actually participate. And nowadays, brokers are allowing you to invest with 100 Rand or more.
Fantastic. So can we go back to invest with your chest? So continuing just to find out a little bit more about you guys. So you're saying you are planning to cum laude, or that's how you roll?
That's how I have to roll, man. That's how I have to roll. I cannot be disseminating so much information that I don't have. You understand?
Absolutely,
Yes,
absolutely,
man.
absolutely. And are you studying at the moment?
Yeah, I'm also studying. So I just completed my BCom degree at the University of the Witwatersrand. So currently I'm doing my LLB as well.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, so we keep learning, keep growing, right? So trying to diversify also myself, right?
Yeah.
So when I encourage someone to also diversify in the markets, then I can say, hey man, their diversification, how broad a term it is in that. So just it can be more of a conceptual thing.
All these wonderful pearls of wisdom. Ralph, what's especially based on the show yesterday, what do you think we learned from Nicholas, him being a two-time winner, when it comes to young people really doing great things?
Yeah, it's fantastic to see Nicholas and just the idea and the philosophy behind it, and being confident in his own ideas, and as a team making those decisions. He mentioned yesterday that sticking to your ideas and not deterring from it. So when the stocks do start falling, that you're confident enough to be able to hold them, knowing that over time, hopefully they'll be going back up. And so I just loved that confidence yesterday that he had
Yes.
in actually his idea and his strategy.
Okay, going back to invest with your chest. Okay, so what topics have you covered so far in your show?
Yeah, so the topics which we've covered so far, it's a broad range. So just introducing to people what the stock exchange is, how it works, and then also discussing ETFs and so forth. And then just recently, the episode we had was on market sentiment, so everything around that.
All right, and what has been the highlights of Invest with Your Chest so far?
For me, it's been quite an interesting road because we got to teach people, we got to democratize the stock exchange that it exists a bit more so that people can understand that everyone can do it. As Ralph was talking right now, and Lindo, I think, just touched on it, the investor psychology, that people, you need to
Beautiful.
put yourself in the right mindset. And what he was talking about, I think it's the herd bias, is that don't follow the herd, man. So there's so much to learn about this. It's such an interesting space to be in. And for someone, as you mentioned, to create wealth for yourself and your loved
Yes.
ones, this is an amazing platform for that.
Rolf, so the topic for today is basically indices, JSE indices. Can you, and we're here to learn, as I always say. So let's just break down those discussion points, and that is the topic for today.
Yeah, so really, we're trying to make sure that everyone out there that's participating and well as listening is understanding. Every time you hear or hear the word all share index,
Yeah.
it's so often talked about in the news. And really, what is it? It's really an index. And what is an index? It's a basket of shares. So you've got plus minus top 150 companies on the JSE that are in this basket. It's basically decided upon according to how big the company is, so their market cap. And then if they meet those different criteria for that, then they are part of the all share index.
Yes?
And it's really, I love to call it the heartbeat of the JSE. It's really telling you what is happening on a daily basis to the JSE. And you would then take the all share index and be able to see, okay, what is the JSE doing compared to maybe the American market or the UK market, like the FTSE 100 in the UK. In America, you got the top 500, which is the S&P 500. And really, these are the big companies that are there. And these are the different baskets that we are then just looking and seeing how well are those countries doing relative to us. You'll often find when there's a big downfall globally, you can then obviously see the ripple effect here in South Africa as well. So sometimes it's nice to be able to see what's happening abroad in order for me to then kind of protect my investments here locally as well.
I see you guys are nodding. Is he talking truth? Tell us
Yeah,
more about
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell us more about your knowledge about the JSE indices and what you think it brings to the whole investment journey. And knowledge.
I like as Ralph has mentioned the all Z's, the top 40.
Yes.
So when you're investing, that is a very good bar to set, that if they are performing this way, for me to check if that return I'm comfortable with it, it has to be somewhere around tracking those prices of those indices. So it's a very good indicator.
So I think I also concur with my colleague over here and Ralph, right? Because it's important that when you invest, right, you have something to track your investment against, so you know that, okay, am I moving in the right direction? Because you might be happy say, I'm investing and so forth, but hey, you're going in the right direction. So you want to be more or less performing according to how your index is performing, or preferably better than the index. So it's a great thing to track your investments with.
Ralph, we didn't realize in studio when we started talking about the JSE indices, apparently these guys' eyes just lit up. So really, I'm in really great company here. So back to Invest With Your Chest.
Yes, ma'am.
Who is your audience? Who are you trying to target with your radio show, with your gig?
For our radio show, it's every individual, it's more often the youth, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the future of the country, and we want to get it to a space where, whether you are working as a waitress in a restaurant or you're part of the operations team of a big corporate, when you go out and in your personal space, you open up your laptop, you track how your shares are doing.
Yes.
So for the layman on the streets, the waitress, the actors, so people can, that's something you need to have as part of your diversified portfolio of income, man. So everyone
Beautiful,
from the youth
beautiful.
knows.
Nina Damba Nani. I'm following you wherever you go. And what can you say about your audience? What's so important about the message and who you're speaking to?
The reason we target the specific audience which we have, right? What is important about them, because we want to democratize. Because first you must understand that the stock market, it democratizes the economy, right? And
what does that mean?
So basically, it allows each and every person to be involved in the economy, right? So just like with elections, they allow you to decide on the legislature and so forth, right? With the stock market, it allows you to make decisions which affect you, because whether you like it or not, right? Most of the things that happen in the stock market, they influence your life. For example, you probably bought shoes recently.
Yes.
So decisions in terms of that, they happen in the stock markets, right? Prices of many things.
Yes.
If your parents have a retirement policy, an education policy for yourself, that affects you. So it is to your advantage that you are more informed about that. So we want people to be informed, that they make informed decisions. Because as Sihle said earlier on, that the reason most people don't invest or don't understand the dynamics of money is because of information, right? We aren't getting people the right, so we are just directing people that, hey, people, man, hey, there's this thing, guys. So just everyone's okay now. Let's change the conversations, change the narrative around money and investing.
Ralph, please jump in if you want to ask Invest With Your Chest, Usihle Nolindo, any questions. How did it all begin? Where did you guys actually start with wanting to experience and experiment and somehow become somewhat experts, or givers of knowledge, or gate openers of knowledge when it comes to the JSE and their investments?
I think it's quite an interesting story, actually.
Yes.
So we've been close friends since high school, right? And so there was this movie, and a lot of people think, these people, it's a bit risque, but The Wolf of Wall Street. What do you think
of The Wolf of Wall Street, Ralph?
Interesting movie.
It really tickled our fans. Oh, people actually make money in this space. You don't have to have a tool in your hand and work like that, but you can actually go to the market and make money, right? So we're really trying to understand how that whole thing works. So we had to choose subjects in high school. Then they said, no, there's something called commerce. You can go this route, and then it's going to lead you to that space, right? So and then we ended up competing from high school on who's going to top who with accounting and so forth. So
Stunning.
that just that birthed the life of finance to us.
What other movies or books or websites do you guys draw inspiration or knowledge or tips from? Yeah, you know.
So yeah, one of my personal favorite movies is The Big Short, right? So
The Big Shot, Ralph? You know it?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. It's 2009.
Okay, yes.
Exactly. So yeah, so that Michael Burry there. So when he discuss the market and so forth, it excites me. Then you also get I think an important book for every investor is The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham, right? So
You hear that, Ralph? The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin?
Benjamin Graham.
Okay, you approve, Ralph?
Yes, it's one of the many great books on fundamental analysis that people can go and read.
yeah.
Yes. Continue.
Yeah, so
with
then,
Lindo.
but there are various other books, right? But then we personally draw our inspiration from the Oracle of Omaha. Exactly.
Oracle of Omaha,
That's
Ralph?
Warren Buffett.
Yes, Warren Buffett.
Yes. I mean, I'm in the midst of greatness, people. I'm in the midst of greatness.
Yeah, so so
I love it,
There
yeah.
are various other people which you and then another, I think, yeah. But as I said, there are many other books, and another important book is Principles by Ray Dalio, right? Where he discusses
Principles by
Ray Dalio.
Ray Dalio, Ralph? Is it?
Yeah, another great fundamental analysis book that you can go and read.
Oof, you guys are on fire. Give us more, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I think on above and beyond that,
Yeah.
understanding the lifestyle you could afford yourself
Yeah.
with this, because this is supposed to be part of your arsenal, even if it's not something you do like us who wants to actually live in the market and something, but you can have that as part of your whole portfolio on how you're making money, because you can have a 9 to 5, but when you come back, you can track your shares, do your analysis, decide what to buy, because you don't need to hold 50 shares. You just need a good couple of shares, well diversified, so that you can see a proper growth in your portfolio. So that's also another big thing for us, because as people from the hood, we understand we need as many avenues to get out of the environments that we exist in. And if there's such greener pastures that side, and this can afford us that, then why not?
I love the topic of investor mindset or the psychology on investing, and I think that's very important. I think that our mental state right now during lockdown and during COVID is something that we have to hold very dear and has to be of the highest priority, especially when you want to succeed in your investment journey. I think that you guys can really, and Ralph inclusive, can really give us a good insight into what is investment mentality, and I'd like to touch up on that a little bit later. But closing this segment, Ralph, is there anything you'd like to add to Invest with Your Chest?
Yeah, I'd like to say, thank you guys for the work that you guys are doing out there, basically trying to get the word out there. I mean, from your own different episodes that you guys have done, which one do you personally, individually like the most? And that would be nice to see, as in, what are your favorites?
Okay, personally for me, we did an episode on fundamental analysis. A lot of people, now that I know that the JSE exists and there's so many companies available to us, how do I zone in? How do I decide what to buy? What do I look for, right? And then we're discussing the methods you can use to value a company using that type of strategy, the fundamental strategy. So I don't know if I could elaborate a bit more.
Please.
Okay, so we're looking at, you have your top-down and your bottom-up strategies, right? I want people to imagine an upside-down triangle right now.
An upside-down triangle, yes.
So the top
are you with
part,
us, everybody? Are you with us?
So the top part, I want you to have your macroeconomies. So we're going to look at the country's economy, how it's performing, your GDP, your inflation, your interest rate, right? And then we zone in a bit more. The second part, the middle part of it, we're going to have your industry, right? So do you want to elaborate on it?
Yeah, so the industry there, let's say for example, interested in the retail sector, right? So then you just zone in, then see how is the retail sector performing in South Africa? Why is it performing the way it is performing? Then once you are then interested in that particular sector, right? Then you then just go then to the bottom part of your triangle, which is then now seeing who's the best performer in the retail sector. Then you then determine, okay, how are they performing? Should I invest? Yes or no? Then most probably, then if they're doing well, then you go then into that particular industry. Then, but as he said, it also goes vice versa. Then there's also the bottom up method. So the bottom up, it's where you let's say maybe you're sitting right. There's a particular shop you like going to. You see that the shop has many customers. Says, hey, I like the shop, man.
Yes.
Let me just research everything about the shop. You do your research about the shop, and then you say, okay, they're good. How's the sector performing, right? Or the particular industry,
Correct,
right? And then because it's important that you also understand how that particular sector is. Is it just maybe that company that's getting lucky, or is the sector as a whole doing well, right? Or maybe there's a better company in the sector as compared to yours. So then you go to the sector. Then ultimately, then you must understand the economy as a whole, the macro
macros,
elements,
yes,
right?
sir.
With the macro elements, you want to see because. Under certain financial circumstances, so maybe if your country is in recession.
What about a pandemic?
Exactly,
pandemic too.
with the pandemic, so you know that certain sectors won't be performing as well because
Correct.
of those things. You get maybe when your monetary policies are enacted. Maybe if a country enacts your expansionary monetary policies, so that's your increase in money supply and decrease in your interest rates, and you know that there'll be more spending, then a particular sector will be performing well. So then you make, okay, because of all of X, Y, and Z, therefore I can invest in this and be content and be confident with the particular investment which you have made.
And I think,
Yes, yes.
and I think Ralph touched on it that there's the high school students that he said the strategy is once I decide on something and I've done my research on it, I follow through. Because once you do your analysis properly and you're confident in the information you found that this is not what is most popular, but this is
Yes.
what is true,
Yes.
then you're more comfortable in, if the share dips a bit, I can hold it a bit longer. If the share dips a bit, man, I could even buy more because I understand it's a good business in an industry that is thriving, and the economy as it is right now is going to allow it to bounce back even better.
Ralph, you look like a proud father. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I do actually remember listening to the episode and them talking about double tapping over there with basically the analysis on fundamentals. So it's fantastic. But to even hone in on the actual indices, basically sectors for today's topic, taking that triangle and, as they said, looking at the different sectors, we've got there's like 8 different industries that the JSE has, and they basically, that's the all share index divided into these, I think it's 8 different baskets, basically resources, financials, technology, telecommunication, consumer goods and consumer services, and industrials. And so you take that and you can basically compare them against each other. You can go and Google it for those that are listening out there. We call it relative strength. And basically you're then comparing them against each other to be able to find the sector that is best performing, and then you can hone in to the best performing shares within that sector. So if you want to compare sectors, use relative strength to be able to go and compare them against each other.
Well, guys, we're going to wrap up this segment of the show. As we do that, we'll continue with our graphs, and that's our annual winners of the JSE Investment Challenge. And please chip in when Rolf is commentating or clearing it up for us and just, unpacking what's going on in those particular graphs. As we close off the segment of the episode, what are your social media handles?
Well, you guys can get me on Instagram at st_makubane.
Yes?
Yeah, so I'm mostly on Instagram, but other platforms not so much.
Okay, yes, you.
Okay, then
Lindo?
I'm on Twitter. It's Lindoguhle Nkabinde. Then my Twitter handle it's at @lindonkebs. So yeah, at @lindonkebs. That's as my Twitter handle. Then you can just catch me there. I'm not that active there, but I am on Twitter usually. I just check up then.
And most importantly, where and how do we get to listen to Invest with Your Chest?
So you can get it on, there's various platforms that we fly it on. So you can get it on I Love Melville. So
Yes.
we're also on
Yes.
there on Thursdays. Then there's also other channels we fly it on, right?
Yeah, then the JSE show specifically, it also flies on other channels, but mostly it's I Love Melville.live every Thursday from 11 up until 1 p.m. So 11 a.m. up until 1 p.m.
That's Invest with Your Chest. I'm so excited that they're
Yeah.
here in studio with me today. Don't forget, we do have that JSE hamper up for grabs, and they are randomly selected. Just engage, engage, engage. See you in a bit. Welcome back. I really hope you are getting so many insights with Invest with Your Chest. That's Sihle and Linda right here with me, and that's the Johannesburg Stock Exchange radio show, Invest with Your Chest. I am so excited they're with me today, and I couldn't be doing the show without our JSE expert, Mr. Ralph Spears. Now, Ralph, it's over to you as you break down the graphs for us, explaining the annual competition winners.
Great. If we can maybe start with the winners, the monthly prize winners, if that graph can go up, and we can have a look at that. So there we've got the university monthly winners, and with the scroller at the bottom. So you've got basically, you can see that Manor Investments are in the top there, and they won this month's competition from the University of Stellenbosch. It's very close with the VK Razor Stakes, and that is second place. So it was pretty tight with roughly, I think it was 18% return for the month. But you can see how volatile some of the teams have been there, with one of the teams losing as much as 40% within the first month of the competition. But yeah, that's obviously depends on what they were investing in as to why that happened.
Is there
But
anything?
let's go look at the.
Sorry, Ralph, is there anything you want to add? Invest with Your Chest? Anything that you're seeing here? Do you want to add anything to say?
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see how, as you mentioned, the pandemic, and
Yeah.
if you follow the shares and you look at how the drop happened coinciding with when the lockdown started.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting to see, and it goes back and touches with the fundamental analysis we're talking about. So it's something for people to see and then correlate it between the two, that it's not separate events.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Integration.
most definitely.
Love it. Moving on. Back to you, Ralph.
Yeah, so if we can have a look at the annual overall chart, and this is our main, obviously, prize that we wanting to look at towards the end of the year. I mean, as in September next month, and yeah, we wanting to be able to see who is in contention for that top prize of 25,000 and a trip to an international stock exchange. I must say that even though these teams are currently in their positions, first, second, third prize, you must understand that we still have to do an audit at the end of the competition.
Yeah.
As long as they've complied with the different rules,
Yeah.
then they will be obviously winning these prizes. But currently, we've got the chart of the actual university annual competition with it's in Kunzi traders.
Nkunzi, yes, Nkunzi. We had them on the show. They were the winners the last time. The beasts. Bacho, no Nkunzi. Yes,
definitely.
I think they are very bullish. Very
bullish.
No pun intended.
Yes,
I
very
like them
bullish.
funny.
Do you remember, Ralph? Very bullish.
Yes, and I love the fact that they also did say that, you know, they're going to be very risk adverse, and they're going to make sure that they protect their gains that they have. And you can see that they've actually been sitting in a lot of cash while all the other teams try and catch them up. But now, July, August, there's fierce competition now with the other teams very, very close. I think it's somewhere about between 1-2% difference between first and second place, and I think it's 5% difference for third position. So it's coming down to the wire.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add,
Yeah,
Lindo?
I think I concur with the point just Ralph made that in Kunzi when they say that they are being risk adverse. I think it is really reflecting on the trend which it followed after, because during the period from May up until now, the markets were very bullish for reasons obviously we cannot discuss, but the markets were very bullish. So being risk adverse at that time wasn't what was usually advised against, but I think it's reflective in the graphs, and it's going to be really interesting and to the game, especially since things, because currently now the markets are opening up, also with the US elections coming up.
Correct.
They also, as Ralph said, international matters also affect.
Do they impact us, Butlindo?
Yeah, they impacted a lot, because it's firstly the US election, so whatever happens there, investors are interested in what's going on there, and also the US-China trade war, right? So that's also because there are many stories coming out there which are also influencing the markets, but I just can't get into details right now. But it's really going to be an interesting show with everything that's going on currently. I'm really going to be following it down to the T.
He looks so excited. He is popping out of his shell. I tell you, you love the stuff, huh? Yeah, Butlindo loves the stuff. Investigations, back to you, Ralph.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I wanted to actually go and look at one or two of the questions that the guys have on Facebook. Could we just quickly hone in on that? And really, one of the questions is, and maybe I can give it to the guys to give us some feedback, but basically, what formula do you use to monitor and safeguard yourself against risk when investing? So, do you have any formula or strategy to be able to protect yourself against the downturn or risk? What would you say to Bongiseni that's asking this question?
Yeah, okay. So I myself personally, I look at the haven stock. So your havens, you get your gold and so forth, right? So whenever then the markets are becoming too volatile, I try to move into that sector, because even if you follow the trends, usually the companies or assets which were performing better during when volatility was high was that sector, right? So that's where then I try to hedge against the downfalls. Then also an interesting thing to look at to try and hedge against losses are ETFs, right? Because you get
what
different.
Are ETFs?
So your ETFs, do you mind maybe elaborating on that?
Yes. So ETF, traded funds.
Yeah, your exchange
traded funds. So those are going to be, as we're talking, we have baskets of shares that are put together, and then you can purchase it, and then they track certain indices, right? So as Ralph was mentioning, and it's quite a good tie-in with today's discussion of indexes, because we have ETFs that track those indices, and then you can make money from those. So you can purchase it, and since it helps you diversify your portfolio too, because now you have a index that has a lot of stocks in it, and then its volatility is not as much as having a singular stock in the market. So we also had an episode on that, so people can go and check it out on more information about
Beautiful.
the ETFs.
Then just because an interesting thing to mention about ETFs, right? There are different types of ETFs. So you get your aggressive ETF, then you get your moderate ones, then you get your low risk ETFs, right? So usually when you want to, because sometimes you want to ensure that your investment, you are hedging against inflation, right? You just want it to be inflation. So you want to go to your low. So when the market is being too volatile, there's too much excitement there, you just go to your low risk and moderate one. Then when things change, then you try to be aggressive. So that's our strategy when we go into investing.
Beautiful. Next question, Ralph, on Facebook.
Yeah, and then Bongiseni, who's actually happened to be with us yesterday, is asking another question around the mindset. How do you prepare your mindset for the markets? When your portfolio starts crashing, how do you deal with that anxiety, and what should you be actually doing as far as preparing yourself for these kind of volatile markets?
Love that.
Ooh, I like that question because we also had an episode where we were talking about market sentiment and the investor psychology. First and foremost, you need to understand whenever you're gathering information to make investments and so forth, you need to understand that there's certain risk attached to it. But for every downturn, there's also an upside to it. So you need to make sure that when things are going well in the markets, you do not assume that you're now the Omaha and then you start being reckless with it. But when the markets also dip a bit, you also need to understand that I'm confident enough in the research that I did when I was
Correct.
purchasing X and Y
Correct.
assets, so that I understand that the dip is because of that. Because most of these anxieties come from not understanding why the market is performing the way it is. And the best thing we can do, even though we cannot say I can predict the markets, but the best thing I can do is gather as much information as I can to understand the trends that they're following and understand where they're heading. So investor psychology is very important when you're an investor, because as Ralph mentioned, we have what we call the herd bias, where we like following herds instead of standing out. So if I see a lot of people trying to buy that, now I feel compelled to buy it. Right?
About to go, you query that.
Yeah, you query about that.
Yeah.
But when you solid
Love
in your
that.
strategy, it's one of the things you need to have in your mindset that I know why I'm doing this. I'm confident in the truth I've discovered, because I don't want to
Love
move
it.
with everything that's happening around me. And then there's so many other things. Do you have biases you want to touch on, rather?
Yeah. Then before I touch on that, right? There's a quote by Warren Buffett, right, where he says that if the share you bought goes down and you sell, then you most probably weren't ready to invest, right? So just to answer his question, to sum everything Sihle was saying, is that don't be reactive when you are in the stock market, right? Try to be as proactive as possible, right? And then there are certain biases which you must avoid, and as it has been discussed on the show, firstly, the herd bias, right? Because sometimes probably everyone in the herd don't know where they are going.
Correct, correct.
Which is what has caused many bubbles in the market. So from your .com bubble to the 2008 financial crisis, most people didn't understand what's going on. So try to avoid the herd, right? And then also there's what is called the confirmation bias, right? So the confirmation bias is that even if your initial assessment was incorrect, and then there's then information comes out which confirms that incorrect decision, and then you assume that you are correct. So that's a confirmation bias. So you want to avoid that confirmation bias, because you always want the truth, right? You don't want things that comfort your opinions and so forth. You want facts.
Ego.
Right? Yeah. So your ego. So when you're investing,
Leave the ego at the door.
Don't be irrational.
Yeah.
Leave your emotions at the door.
Wow.
And think, try to be as rationally as possible, because there's a book by Schiller, right? So by Schiller, where he speaks about, that's also an interesting book to look at, right? It's also been referred to by Alan Greenspan when he speaks of irrational exuberance.
Wow.
Right? So it's people... yeah, so basically irrational exuberance, what I'm saying, people being overexcited because of what's going on. Okay, this sector is interesting, everyone rushes there, but no one stops and asks, okay, why are people going? So whenever things go on, just stop and ask yourself, what's going on and why is this thing going on? Then you are better equipped mentally and also emotionally to make the right decisions when you invest, especially when it's your own money. It becomes more personal.
Of course.
So also just detach from that mentality and avoid being irrationally exuberant.
So many life metaphors that I'm hearing from Invest With Your Chest. It's really touching a lot of personal strings for me. Is there anything you'd like to add to what they've just said, Mr. Spears?
Yeah, psychology, investment psychology is such an important topic, and I
Yeah.
would like to say there that it's so important that if you have gone and worked out the idea or strategy that you would like to use, and you've gone and actually maybe just tested it and seen, it'll give you more confidence in then knowing that okay, this strategy has performed and you're then able to have a lot more peace of mind when implementing the strategy. So I think it's important that you know what your boundaries, you know what strategy you've got, and you know how it works, and you know how it performs. It will then help you mentally to be able to go through those dips when they do come about. And of course, having a stop loss is obviously important. For depending if you, especially during a trading environment and you're trading in and out, having that stop loss will also give you that peace of mind and knowing where to put it.
This has been such a great show. Ralph, is there anything you'd like to add for this final words on this segment of the show?
No, I'm very excited and happy to see the knowledge that the guys have been sharing,
She,
and
I,
it's powerful.
Yeah, it's completely powerful. I'm completely blown away. I hope you're blown away sitting and watching via Facebook. Don't forget, we do have the JSE hamper up for grabs, which is randomly selected. So keep engaged, keep engaged, keep engaged. See you in a bit. Hi, my name is Slubimboya Arnold, and welcome back to the JSE Investment Challenge. And I was just saying at the break, wow, 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 and power, power, power to our in-studio guests, Invest With Your Chest, and that's the JSE radio show. Usihle Nolindo, just really dropping huge bombshells that will keep us motivated, keep us informed, and break you out of that imposter syndrome characteristics. What I loved about what we just talked about was the investor psychology, investor mindset. As we wrap up this segment of the show, could you please reiterate your top 5 between the two of you? Great sources of information and wisdom, whether it's a book, whether it's a website, etc., etc., etc. So 5 between the two of you. You start, Sihle.
Okay, for me, definitely has to be what Lindo mentioned. 2 books, Ray Dalio, Principles, and Robert J. Schiller, a guy on behavioral finance and that psychology, and as you touched on, the importance of the investor psychology. So that guy, anyone, even if it's not just books, whether you're on YouTube or what,
Yes.
just go out, check out Robert J. Schiller, and you'll thank me later.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Lindo?
Then also, just to add on that, right? It also the book I also referred to Benjamin Graham and Intelligent Investor. It's really really important that you get hold of that book also. And then also the JC website, like
The JC website.
The JC,
So
I
Ralph
think
is
it-
so happy to hear that.
yeah, I think that's the most like. You can't be in the JSE if you don't understand the JSE, right? Because what I've realized with most people get, maybe someone is watching right now, they'll be excited, hey man, Lindo just spoke about the market and they just go boom and run in there, and then when things don't go as planned, then they'll say that these people lied to me,
It's a fluke.
but they just didn't understand how it works. So the JSE website, it's really informative. So if you have time to just go onto their website, they give you information about each and every company listed there, or every asset that's there, the history of the JSE, just to get you stirred up, right? And then also what I also another important source, right, is the news. So I watch financial news a lot. I think I watch it everyone, because there's this neighbor of mine who always visits either maybe comes to my brother or me. So when they always comment, hey dude, why
You're
are you
always
always watching
watching
why are you always
financial
watching
news, yeah.
because I think if you
Because if you are invested,
You have to
You
know.
have to know.
if you want to be a good soccer player, you want to watch the best soccer
Correct,
player.
correct.
So if you also want to be the best in this, then watch
You have
the
to have
best.
the ear
and
to
just-
the ground,
Most
my
yeah,
brothers.
definitely.
understand what's going on.
Absolutely.
Because most people, what they do is they just look at charts, right? This is like there are people who honestly do, like it shocks me. There are people who honestly do that. They just look at the chart like, hey, the chart is going up.
Let
Boom,
me
I'm
go
going
in.
in.
Yeah.
Then it goes down. Then they can't explain. Honestly, they can't explain that. So it's important that like it's really important that you understand that and get as much information as possible. Which you get. So our top 5. So it is those 3 books: the JSE website and financial news to understand what's going on.
Love it, love it, love it. You know what? We really are trying to fast track your experience by not making blunders that can cost you, even in a virtual game. Ralph, is it still enough time to register?
Yes, I would love everyone that's listening or that's going to be watching the pre-recording. You can still go play. It's basically university.jsc.co.za. Click on register, the top right-hand side, and you'll be able to register for the game with your team.
So congratulations to our winners who weren't able to be with us today. That is our university winners, and that is Manon Investments. Congratulations to you. But the show still goes on, and honestly, I am so privileged to have the company of Invest With Your Chest, and that is Sihle and Ulindo. Thank you so much just for being here and just for being energetic and just for being so full of knowledge and being so humble about it. You guys can talk. So I'm giving you 30 seconds of a final push of your investment experience, and just to motivate those of us who are still feeling a bit uncomfortable with the whole adventure. 30 seconds.
Okay, I think the quickest way is it's possible. It's not a fluke. When you have your foot, just dip your foot, test the waters, make sure that you understand what's going on. As Linda has said, get as much information so that you can prepare yourself emotionally, mentally for what's about to come your way. And don't forget to register and come play with the Bulls, man.
And the Bears, exactly, yeah. Because the JSE is not a horror movie. My experience, like exactly, it's not a horror movie. My experiences
Love that.
with the JSE has been one of this romantic experience.
Love affair.
So it was a lovely love affair. So just join in, man. Just join in.
You made it so real, you made it so doable, you made it so relevant, and you made it so exciting. Thank you so much to Invest With Your Chest. Ralph, do we have our JSE Hamper Prize winner? Do you have that name there?
Yeah, unfortunately, I have got a randomly selected name that happens to be from yesterday. So unfortunately, we can't have a winner twice.
Yes.
And so it's going to have to then carry forward to our last episode of the university broadcast, and that'll be in the next month. So do stay tuned.
What a way to start my weekend. Thank you so much for joining us on the JSE Investment Challenge. Happy weekend, everyone. Rolf, you're the best co-host ever. Sihle, Lindo, you're the best radio stars ever. And thank you so much to those of you who are watching. My name is Lubimboya Arnold, and investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. Bye for now. Have a great weekend, everybody.